Have you ever wondered how a civilization from thousands of years ago managed to create structures that still take our breath away today? Welcome to the world of ancient Egypt, where every pyramid, every pharaoh, and every ritual holds secrets beyond the imagination of modern science. Imagine vast sandy plains hiding the secrets of one of the world's oldest civilizations, Egypt, the land of the Nile, where life followed the rhythm of the river, and people believed that divinity permeated every aspect of daily existence. Today, I will take you on a journey through the labyrinth of history, where we won't be confined to the monotony of dates and facts, but will immerse ourselves in a tale of people, structures, and beliefs that have inspired scholars and dreamers for centuries. Get ready for a fascinating blend of science, legend, and a touch of Egyptian humor. Ready? Let's go. Pyramids, symbols of power, divinity, and excellent PR for the ancient Egyptians. The most famous of them all, the Great Pyramid of Giza, has fascinated both scientists and conspiracy theorists for centuries. Because let's be honest, can we really believe that people armed with chisels and ropes built something so monumental? Or was it aliens? Spoiler, no, but those documentaries are fun to watch. Building pyramids wasn't just a pharaoh's whim to leave behind something bigger than an Instagram story. It was an investment in the afterlife, kind of like a luxury savings account, but in stone and for eternity. Pyramids were meant to guarantee the pharaoh a first-class ticket to the realm of the gods. What's more, they also served as a way to unify society. Pyramid construction engaged thousands of people, from engineers to ordinary workers, who were paid, fed, and even received medical care. So no, they weren't the unfortunate slaves Hollywood movies would have us believe. Alright, imagine this. You have stone blocks weighing several tons, no cranes, and only basic math. How do you move them? This is where the Egyptians' clever methods come in. Ramp systems, wooden sleds, and perhaps even pouring water on the sand to reduce friction. Yes, 4,500-year-old technology worked at a level that some modern construction companies might envy. What's even more impressive is that the Great Pyramid of Giza is so precisely aligned with the cardinal points that today's architects could learn a thing or two. A margin of error of just 0.05 degrees without drones or GPS. Sounds like magic, but it's simply perfect engineering and years of experience. What if I told you that pyramids are more than just oversized stone coffins? Their alignment with the stars suggests a deep connection to astronomy. In fact, the internal corridors of the Great Pyramid may represent the pharaoh's soul's journey to immortality. Pretty cool, right? Of course, Giza is the supermodel of pyramids, but it's not the only one. There's also the Pyramid of Khafra, Menkaure, and in Saqqara, the step Pyramid of Djoser, the older sister of Giza's pyramids, which looks like a rough draft of the final masterpiece. Each one showcases the evolution of technology and changing beliefs about death and the afterlife. Pyramids aren't just impressive structures, they're also an incredible PR campaign. Even today, they remain one of Egypt's most recognizable symbols, proving that the ancient Egyptians had something many modern projects lack: long-term vision. They built for thousands of years while we struggle to assemble IKEA furniture. So next time you look at the pyramids, remember, they're not just piles of stones. They're symbols of a civilization that thought about eternity while masterfully combining science, religion, and social strategy. And us? Well, we have skyscrapers and cat memes. Let's move now to the palaces, where power and divinity intertwined. The pharaohs, legends in human form, led lives filled with drama, triumphs, and plot twists worthy of the best historical series. They built empires, ruled nations, and established an order meant to last forever, at least in theory. Take, for example, Khufu, also known as Cheops, a man who decided that his ego should be visible from space. The Great Pyramid of Giza is not only a testament to the engineering genius of the Egyptians, but also a classic case of, I'm building something so people won't forget me. And, well, it worked. The pyramid has stood for thousands of years, while some modern buildings barely last a decade. But Khufu is just one side of the pharaonic coin. If he was the architect of eternity, then Ramesses II was the ultimate action hero pharaoh. A long reign? Check. Spectacular battles? Of course. Temples the size of a small city? Absolutely. Abu Simbel is just one of his modest projects. Ramesses not only led armies, but also managed his PR, ensuring that his name still evokes power today. But where did the idea come from that the pharaoh was a mediator between gods and humans? In ancient Egypt, it was believed that the ruler was not just a king, but also a living god, often associated with Ra, the sun god. This meant not only the right to rule, but also the duty to maintain harmony in the universe. Not bad for someone who had to worry about the state budget and potential rebellions every day. Pharaohs were supposed to embody wisdom and justice, but history tells a different story. They were ambitious, emotional, and sometimes made mistakes. Surprise, right? It's this mix of divinity and humanity that makes their stories so fascinating. They weren't machines, they were people who became legends. Power in Egypt wasn't random. Pharaohs inherited fortunes that would make today's billionaires look modest. Land, wealth, and a well-oiled tax system. This was what kept Egypt running like an ancient corporation with the gods as the board of directors. Most pharaohs passed away naturally, but there were also cases of political assassinations and mysterious deaths. Take Tutankhamun, the young king whose death still intrigues researchers. Was it illness, an accident, or perhaps a conspiracy? His richly adorned tomb continues to inspire awe and questions to this day. The Great Pyramid of Giza is more than just a tomb. Surrounding it were other temples and smaller pyramids, all meant to reinforce the pharaoh's divinity. And speaking of tombs, pharaohs certainly didn't want to enter the afterlife empty-handed. Jewelry, amulets, furniture, clothing, and even food. Everything was essential to ensure the king's dignified existence after death. Thanks to the pharaohs, we have not only monumental structures, but also fascinating stories about rulers who dared to reach for immortality. They weren't just leaders, they were pioneers of PR, masters of strategy, and living proof that ambition can last for millennia. What about religion and beliefs? Well, for the ancient Egyptians, religion wasn't just an add-on to life, it was the entire operating system of reality. Every sunrise wasn't just a beautiful view, but an eternal ritual in which Ra, the sun god, once again triumphed over darkness. Sounds like a great mythological drama, right? For the Egyptians, this was everyday life. Gods like Osiris, Isis, and Horus weren't just fairy tale characters who disappeared when the story ended. They were everywhere. In the harvest, in the stars, in the fate of the pharaohs. Imagine priests who didn't just manage temples, but also dabbled in astronomy. Thanks to their observations, the Egyptians created a calendar that, get this, had 365 days. Yes, before the Romans figured it out, the Egyptians already knew how to divide the year into months and predict the Nile's floods with more accuracy than modern weather forecasts. Priests had a genius way of combining science and spirituality. The rising of the star Sirius, Sopdet, signaled the coming floods, meaning it was time to prepare for the harvest. This knowledge didn't just make agriculture easier, it also gave the priests a plus 100 boost in authority. When they said, everything will be fine, it actually meant something because they based their predictions on real observations, not just reading tea leaves. And now, let's get to something we all love. Dark tomb mysteries. The Egyptians believed that death was the beginning of a new adventure, but it wasn't an easy journey. Funeral rituals, mummification, and all those intricate ceremonies had one goal: to help the soul survive and achieve immortality. Every amulet, spell, and inscription was basically an ancient survival kit for the deceased. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The Egyptians were so meticulous that they stocked tombs with everyday essentials. After all, a pharaoh in the afterlife still needed something to eat, right? Furniture, cosmetics, gold, basically everything necessary for a comfortable post-mortem existence. Just imagine if we did the same today. Here lies John Smith, and next to him his laptop and coffee machine, because even in the afterlife, you need to work and drink espresso. The Egyptians created a civilization where the line between science and spirituality was incredibly fluid. Every ritual had its place, every ceremony was carefully thought out, yet everything was grounded in solid observational knowledge. Their achievements continue to inspire and make us reflect, and who knows, maybe that's the true secret of their immortality. Is ancient Egyptian architecture just about buildings? No, it's like an ancient Instagram, full of epic posts in the form of temples, pyramids, and columns, all designed for one purpose: to show the world who's in charge. Every stone, every inscription wasn't just about aesthetics. It was a carefully crafted narrative about the gods, the power of the pharaohs, and, let's be honest, how to impress the neighbors. Take Karnak, for example, the temple equivalent of Hollywood. But instead of celebrities, you had gods, and instead of a red carpet, you had monumental colonnades. This wasn't just a place of worship. It was a stage where a grand spectacle played out in honor of Amun-Ra and his entourage. Anyone who entered was meant to feel like a tiny speck in the presence of divine glory. But the best part? Karnak wasn't a one-time project. Pharaohs kept expanding it for centuries, like an ancient, never-ending construction update project. Few people realize that Egyptian architects weren't just master builders. They were also experts in mathematics and astronomy. They didn't just place temples by eye. Their orientation relative to the sun and stars was so precise that modern scientists are still stunned. What if I told you that some temples functioned like massive sundials? That on specific days, the rising sun's rays would illuminate exact statues statues of gods? Yes, the Egyptians mastered the wow effect long before modern light mapping. Now let's talk about pyramids. What were they? Tombs? Spaceports? The ancient equivalent of look what we can do? Honestly, a bit of everything. Their perfect proportions and mind-blowing precision still leave experts scratching their heads. Interestingly, many were designed using the golden ratio, which was later used by Leonardo da Vinci and other artists. Coincidence? I think not. And here's the kicker. The Egyptians didn't just build wonders, they encoded messages within them for future generations. Reliefs and hieroglyphs were basically an ancient Facebook feed, full of memes, legends, and official pharaoh announcements. Every inscription said something like, "Look how great I am," "Ra blesses my reign," or a subtle, "Yes, I won that battle." No, don't ask how it actually went. To sum up, ancient Egyptian architecture was more than just stone structures. It was a carefully planned story about power, divinity, and the pursuit of immortality. It proves that the Egyptians weren't just engineers, but also PR and propaganda masterminds, capable of turning every building into a manifesto of divine order. And you know what? It still works. After all, how many civilizations can say their monuments still attract millions of people 4,000 years after they were built? Our journey through the mysteries of ancient Egypt has come to an end, at least for today. From the monumental pyramids, through the complex lives of the pharaohs, to the deep spirituality, but also an inspiration for our future. I hope this story has sparked your curiosity and encouraged you to continue exploring. What surprised you the most? Do you have any theories you'd like to share? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell to not miss out on future fascinating journeys through time. Give us a thumbs up, comment, and share. Together, we can uncover more mysteries from the past. Remember, history is a living story that lasts as long as we are willing to listen to it. Thank you for joining me today. See you in the next episode.